South Africa has slammed the continued unilateral United States economic embargo against Cuba, calling it regressive while accusing Washington of serious human rights violations under the more than 50-year-old policy. Speaking in the annual debate in the United Nations General Assembly on the necessity of ending the economic, commercial and financial embargo against Cuba, South Africa's ambassador affirmed Pretoria's support for ending the blockade and complained about its extra-territorial application that affects relations between Havana and the rest of the world.
The General Assembly has long expressed near universal concern at the unilateral blockade imposed by the United States. Last year, an overwhelming majority, 191 out of 193 member states, urged Washington to reverse its decades-old policy and normalize relations, but to no avail.
The United States to resume cordial diplomatic relations that will advance and end the deplorable Cuban embargo, which is a relic of the bygone era and undermine the spirit of the Charter of the United Nations that we all committed to as member states of this organization. It is therefore without saying that I will vote once again in solidarity with Cuba and call all member states, including developed countries which are very quiet now, to voice their commendation and vote in favor of the resolution in question, urge international community to work together in freeing Cuba from the political, economic, commercial and financial shackles of the embargo, which has been in place for more than half a century now.
The reversal of efforts started under the administration of former President Barack Obama when current President Donald Trump signed a memorandum to strengthen the embargo in June of last year. South Africa also assailed proposed amendments by the United States to this year's draft resolution that is likely to delay the final vote until Thursday. The U.S. amendments call on Havana to abide by human rights norms, expresses concern about freedom of expression and the plight of political prisoners, changes likely to be voted down.
The group is of the view that economic sanctions against Cuba have caused great economic hardship, especially for the poor and vulnerable population in this country. We believe that an immediate end to the economic embargo against Cuba is necessary, and it can serve to promote social and better standards of life for the people of Cuba. In that regard, we encourage the spirit of dialogue to be employed to resolve this issue and therefore allow Cuba to continue effectively to contribute to global development.
Expressed disappointment that the resolution first tabled in 1992 was still on the agenda.
This embargo stands as an affront to the collective expression of the international community that has consistently called for it to be lifted. The overwhelming view of the international community was yet again made manifest last year by the fact that 191 member states voted in favor of the resolution to lift the 56-year-old policy of economic blockade. Madam President, Jamaica is concerned that despite progress made in recent years towards a rapprochement between the United States of America and Cuba, we now witness increasing moves towards the strengthening of the embargo.
Cuba's Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Parilla is also expected to speak later. Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.